Hey guys, what's going on? Mark here with another quick tutorial. I was flicking through some old work of mine and well, mostly just cringing to be honest at how bad it was, but I found a couple of old photos where I'd done some lettering and some custom type, and I'd photoshopped it onto some surfaces like some walls and stuff like that. And I thought maybe some people might be interested in learning how I did that. I do think it's still kind of a cool effect even though I don't really use it anymore. So yeah, I thought I'd just give you guys a quick tutorial on how I do that. So the first thing I did was I go to grab some images. If you don't have your own photos, which I don't, I use unsplash.com to grab some really good quality free images. And I've got a couple of images here. The one I'm showing now is by Caleb Rogers. And it's pretty cool. It's like a kind of grungy looking brick wall. And all I've done is I've opened that image up in Photoshop, and I've also got some lettering that I drew. It just has better letters. It's just in white at the moment because I feel like it'll stand out better on this particular wall. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys how I blend it. So in order for me to blend this type into the wall properly, first of all I need to make sure that my type is above the image layer and there's nothing else in between. So then I'm just going to double click on the layer with the artwork. And then when that opens, it should automatically have blending options selected. So now if I look down under blending options, there's a section that says blend if. And basically we can just ignore this layer. What we're really focused on is underlying layer, because we want to blend our artwork with the underlying layer, which in this case is the brick wall. So check out what happens when I drag this black slider along. And I gradually get close to the grays. And you'll see that the type starts to disappear, like parts of it start to blend with the wall. So at the moment, if I just kind of show you, I'll go all the way with it, you can see it disappears, but it's getting there, but it looks really harsh, I think. So one of the things that I like to do with this is if I actually hold down Alt on my keyboard and then click the arrow, it splits into two instead. And this gives me way more customization, so I can get it exactly how I want. So now you can see that if I drag both up, I'll just get a bit more blending there. And that's already starting to look way more natural in my opinion. If I drag this right one out a bit further, I can really start to make it look like that artwork belongs on that wall. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to hit OK for now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's that easy. It looks nice and blended to me. If I wanted to, I could also just drop the opacity of the entire layer down a little bit as well. I think it looks just a bit more natural. It looks a bit more worn out, like it's been on the wall for ages. And one bit of advice as well, by the way, is I wouldn't use any type that has like a really clear kind of sharp look to it, like Gotham Bold, for example, would not work at all, because the type's just so perfect and so slick and crisp that no matter how much you apply these effects, it's not quite going to look right. So try to use something that's hand drawn or something that's got a bit of a gritty edge to it, and it'll really help to make it look like it's, you know, natural really. So in this particular example, the only ones I used were the arrows on the darker side. So you might be wondering about the other ones. So if I use the other ones, that'll actually blend the artwork with anything that's light, which in this particular example, because the wall is dark, it doesn't really make sense, so I didn't have to touch them. But I'll give you another example. I've got another image here by Levi Saunders, and you can see that I've blended this one. Instead, I chose the letters to be black on a white surface. So instead, in this case, I basically did the exact same thing, except I used the white arrows instead and started to bring them in. So as you can see, because the arrows match anything that is this color, and it will just blend all of that. So it's kind of hard to explain. Hopefully it makes some sense, but because this wall is so white, as soon as it starts to pick up any of it, it'll try to basically just blend the entire image. So again, just by holding down Alt and clicking those arrows, I'm able to get way more customization, and I kind of like it if I just bring the other one up a bit. Just about there. Yeah, I think that starts to look a bit more natural, because then if I zoom in a bit, it sort of blends quite well with the actual creases in the wall there as well. Now, another thing that you might have seen if you've looked at much of my work on my Instagram, when I was doing this sort of style, a lot of the time there'd be an object on the wall like this one here, and the type would sort of blend as if it came from behind it. Like I think there's one with a lamppost or a mailbox or something, and the type kind of disappears behind it. It's really simple to do that as well. If I just drag this over, yeah, I'll just crop the edges of these letters for now, just as an example, but it's really simple. All I did for these was just to grab the eraser, bump it up a little bit. I can start by erasing those. Oops, went a bit too close there. So I get rid of all these obvious bits first. And then what I like to do is just drop the opacity down just temporarily so I can see exactly where the edges are. And then on my eraser, I drop the hardness down so it's a bit softer. Zoom right in nice and close and just kind of subtly, gently start to erase that away. And I'll just quickly do these others. I think I actually dropped the hardness just a little too much, but that's okay. And that should just about do it, I think. So now, if I bump that opacity back up, you can see that it looks like it's sort of coming out from behind that green window doorway thingy there. So yeah, that's really it, guys. Just another quick, simple tutorial for you. If there's any other stuff you've seen around, maybe you've seen some work on my Instagram and you want to know how I achieve a certain effect or a certain style or anything like that, by all means, ask away in the comments and I'll see if I can make another video for you. And in the meantime, if you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up, it's a huge help, and feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks, guys.